from Idea, which obviously we do apologize for. The Starladder guys have been working tirelessly to overcome it. From what I've heard, Hugo, the issue was caused by the version of CS that Valve was running like for the major
build,
having some problems with allowing the observers to connect to the server. So all the players were in, we just had some problems getting our eyes and ears in the server. And what's the point in the games being played if we can't watch them?
Exactly. You need those eyes, and most importantly, you need those ears, Harry. And we have both of them. We're straight into things. It's a best of one, and it's the only map of overpass here between DreamEaters and NRG. NRG starting on the T side here, and we are into the pistol round. No knife needed as NRG set up quick towards a connector. Stanislaw waits outside of B, so I imagine this will end in that B set piece. And DreamEaters with a heavy setup down here as well. 4 out of 5 players in position.
Yeah, we could see this clash coming down towards shore, but that doesn't look to be the case. Instead, NRG scoping out the top of connector. Now there is still this 4-man B hold here, and you can see Forrester tries to clear down towards short initially. He will get bought low, and on the back of seeing him, NRG, they're just going to try and steamroll into A. Now there's only Speedak here, USP in hand, and he's got to try and find something. Instead, he'll get deleted at that first hurdle, and now down into this 4-on-4 as that bomb now going down. Retake underway here for DreamEaters.
Yeah, and Stanislaw's taking his time. He's come back all the way from Monster to A long, and he's already on 20 HP. DreamEaters clearing out close positions, and Tarek has no idea where he's getting shot from. Those silence USPs proving to be a bit of an issue. 2 Ts left up, and now it's just Stan. They might not expect him on long, but surely he has to drop the bomb, and he does find the first, but DreamEaters there with a retake. That's an unfortunate round for NRG. They were setting up, hoping for an aggressive connector rotation. You could be 4 players waiting in that stairwell. Stanislaw throwing in that B fake very early on, and DreamEaters, because they already had 4 players on B and 1 on the A site, they didn't decide to aggressively rotate and give NRG a kill like they hoped. Running into a 5-on-5 on that bomb site, and DreamEaters going to start it off here on the CT side.
NRG have made this interesting decision just to go immediately in with a force, and you understand why, right? They get that bomb down, they're looking to just bring the heat almost immediately, and I love that, right? They're coming into this, they know they're the heavy favourites of this situation. And so they're looking to try and take one straight off the bat. Now, the benefit to getting this buy-in here is you take a look at this, right? You've got a Krieg and an AK. Now, that kind of matches the 2 rifles over in the hands of DreamEaters, and they've put all their money into this round. I would say, you know, with the new economy changes, Hugo, if you're able to do it, it almost seems beneficial to lose the pistol and then win this second round. But obviously, you can't bank on that.
No.
That's what NRG are looking to do here regardless. A very slow default from the North American squad. They set a couple of players up towards mid and long initially. Now they've got Tarek clearing out the connector here. He'll regroup with Cirque over in mid. So they know they've got this foothold over in middle, and they might look to exploit toilets with maybe one of these players. It doesn't like the B play though, with Tarek trying to sell this A side fake. He'll throw in that utility just to keep these 3 players here for the DreamEaters squad. And for the time being at least, it has kept them in position. So NRG, well, if they picked up the pace, if they just decided to go, they might have caught a timing, but you can see DreamEaters, they've actually pushed Speedak forward. He's cleared out toilets, he's cleared out mid, he's coming in behind Tarek, and NRG have got no idea. There's 4 players stacked inside of this bomb site right now on the CT side.
And now they're just running through a smoke carry. They realise the jig is up and there's nowhere to go but through Monster. DreamEaters with 2 players on the other side and everyone on that B bomb site. What a setup. I love the re-aggression from Speedak is perfectly timed right as NRG fall back from that A bomb site, and I mean, just walking into a full B stack, nothing you can do about that. Even with the force buy, they get shredded, and now we're going to have to see an eco. Now they've got to give some money away in round number 3. Of course, for those wondering about the X-ray, we've had confirmation that the Starladder are aware it's not working right now, but we will have that fixed very soon, so do wait for that. Apology for the time being. We are only on map 1, and things are only going to get better. But I don't think things are getting much worse for DreamEaters in this round, because they have, again, an anti-eco NRG on pistols. DreamEaters brought up with a few rifles and a couple of SMGs for those money makers, and NRG are getting given control towards a connector. Speedak, well-timed rotation there. He could have gotten caught out by Tarek coming in from below, but instead repositions back towards long. And NRG, they're gaining a good foothold up towards this A site. Still Ethan watching for the B aggression, but by and large, this is looking like an A play for NRG.
Yeah, they have gotten very, very close over here in toilets. Speedak does have to watch out because they've actually kind of gotten by him here. They've found a bit of a timing on the back of Cirque. Now, Kinky is keeping an eye on exactly this, and now they've decided to pull Speedak back into the A bomb site. So they kind of nullify that little gap that NRG were looking to exploit. They do get toilets control, though. Speedak's still floating around nearby. And there's a lot of players on the other side of the divider. They're right behind him right now, and Kinky holding close. These two have to try and play off of one another to trade this out. They've already got Speedak up towards Dumpster. There's Speedak in with the first, and from this point on in, it really should just be the cleanup from DreamEaters.
Yeah, I love this setup as well. 15 seconds here for NRG to either die or get a bomb plot. They need to do something, and they're going to run into the firing line on long. That's really cool from DreamEaters, having Speedak play, that close divider and watch the short walk up, and then Kinky covering toilets from the left side. I mean, that's the last place you're checking if you're NRG trying to come through the toilets. You're thinking more about dice. You're caring for a long side peek or a dumpster play, not someone on truck wall. So nice setup on the anti-eco there, and a quick 3-0 for DreamEaters. They are going to be sitting pretty in this match so far. Now, NRG do come back in with rifles, though. Of course, their second round was pretty lackluster. They had a Krieger AK. That was the peak of it. So now actually having rifles in every single player, and 3 Kriegs coming through as well. I imagine we're going to be seeing a lot of these here at the Major.
Oh, we get to this triple boost from DreamEaters. That gets thrown in down here nice and early. Now, this leaves a 4-man B hold for this CT squad. NRG playing the slow default initially. Looking like maybe once again they want to go back to trying their hand at this connector control and then working middle on the back of it. Looking to at least establish that foothold before they make a decision a little bit later in the round as to where this is going to end up. You can see that triple boost has been dismantled as well down here towards B. DreamEaters instead just holding 2 players inside of the bomb site. Now, they didn't see anyone down towards short early. Not only did they have the triple boost, but they also had, I think it was Forrester pushing short and actually taking an aggressive stance there in the early stages of the round. So they've got a good idea as to where NRG might reside at this point in time, and they've read this well. There's a smoke down towards Monster, but as that starts to fade with 2 players waiting so close, I'm wondering if they're going to try and push through, maybe take a little look and see if they can see Ethan, who does lie in wait on the other side of it.
He's only just faking that B site, though. 1 Molotov and 30 seconds. I mean, the resmoke does come down for DreamEaters, but they should know where this one's ending up, and they do have the majority of players up on this A bomb site. Full execute for NRG. 20 seconds. They need to get this bomb down, but they won't be able to get onto the site. Speedak with 2 shots on this AWP, and this is making matters far worse for NRG. The smokes may be cutting off the other 2 CTs, but Speedak's going nowhere. He's going to hit another shot. Ethan trading back in 5 seconds as that bomb does get ticked into the site. Ethan getting a second through the corner of the smoke, and this is suddenly doable for NRG. It's come down to the wire, and they are still a man down, but DreamEaters now on the retake.
Yeah, and they're really closing the gap. They're already almost in this bomb site, and with Cert getting removed, it's only Ethan. 1v3 required. There's the tag. Now they know where he is. They know his whereabouts. He's got to come up clutch here, does Ethan. He's got to get the ace if he wants to pick this round up, and Crad will finally shut him down. Defuse comes in. DreamEaters, 4-0 start. They get the retake done. They go into that 3v2, and they only lose 1 man, so a great job there from DreamEaters. A bit of a terrifying start to this match for NRG, right? Already a 4-0 lead getting built up by the CIS squad early on. At least you get a bomb plant there. You're at max loss bonus, so NRG, they're not going to be in that situation where they are just having to lose a round and then take an eco or partially invest, and then they can throw another buy in here at the very least.
Very important decision that DreamEaters did deconstruct that B boost up early, right? Because when you go for that kind of play, you need a player up on Monster as well. That leaves only a solo A player, and you can't commit with that for too long, especially when you spot nothing down on B. So DreamEaters very much ahead of NRG right now. Do have a rifle round coming through, though, for the North American side, and they've got AKs and a couple of Kriegs. Bit of a boost outside of B. Ethan going to look towards the barrels, but no one playing there. Honestly, we've seen less and less players use that barrels the longer Overpass has been in the pool, and it is because of reasons like this, boosts, easy Molotovs. So NRG not finding anything to start, but they did get jump spotted. So DreamEaters with a bit of info as to this setup.
Yeah, I always felt like barrels is a great late round position, but early round when the Molotovs are still up, right, it is just like such a messy one to try and hold. Because if a Molotov goes in there, you become almost like a free kill, right? You either have to force out into the crosshairs of your opponents, or you smoke it off and then you give up that you're there. So Kinky, speaking of smoking things off, he's a bit of a smoke warrior here, waiting in mid, holding close to this smoke, and there are players all around him. Breezy will get the better of Kinky in that fight. Will he be ready for Speedak over at long? It certainly looked like it, but the shot will come through initially. Traded by Cirque, and that's now an AWP handed over to him, so a terrifying man with an AWP in hand should he choose it. Actually will decide against it though and stays on the Krieg for the time being. That bomb now going down, 4v3, first time we've seen NRG sit with a man advantage in this post plot.
Yeah, this is a very pretty situation to be in. There's no utility for DreamEaters. They've got to hit their shots. Forrester has started coming in through the bank, finding Ethan in the corner. Now Tarek, he still sits on that bomb, and Forrester, he should well know that. He spots two players at long. They would love a flashbang right now to get inside of this position, but instead they focus on getting Tarek out of his while Crad comes in on the flank, and they are not ready. 2 kills from Crad. Tarek lost the light. That bomb is low time, but he needs to hit some shots now, and Sviat will not let him. DreamEaters in with another retake. That was a man disadvantage with not a single bit of utility, and they're going to pick it up. Not a single death in that post plant either for the CT side. What a start this is for the Russians.
Yeah, I'm a little bit mind-blowing. This is not what I expected at all. NRG calling in the tactical timeout, and you fully understand why. I mean, at this point, if I'm NRG, I'm already like tossing and turning, thinking back to majors gone by of kind of similar starts to exactly this.
That was a lock-in round for NRG.
It did look like a done deal, right? It really didn't feel like there should have been any way back into that for DreamEaters, and let alone in such a kind of clean-cut fashion, right?
There was a clear bit of confusion as well, because we saw that jump spot come in from the bank, right? And he gets the info. I think it was Forrester gets the info that there are 2 players long. Now, if NRG know that DreamEaters know where they are, they should be carrying their flank, but they don't. And the player just comes in behind and mows down both of them. I mean, those are not the mistakes you can afford to have if you're NRG. You need to be winning those kind of post plants. And now at least, you know, it has been close rounds. They have been getting bomb plants, so more buys coming through. 3rd in a row. No pistols needed for NRG, but they need to make something of these rounds.
Has to go for my time is the factor. Goes to the block, it's quite too winded. He's loading speed.
This time in NRG, looking like they might just go back to basics with a B-hit off the back. Crad getting mowed down. Forrester followed up. And now Sviat here alone really does have to do a hell of a lot if his team want to hold on to this round. He will get helped out by Kinky. That nade finds even more damage onto Cirque. Cirque will still keep the man advantage in favor of NRG, but it's very, very brief indeed. Sviat and Speedak making quick work of NRG. And now it's Cirque left up, 1v2, 2 HP to his name, and an ace to find if NRG want to get this round. This feels like it should be impossible, Hugo.
Surely. They haven't tapped the bomb yet, though. They're going to double peek him. Cirque's got a 1v1. Sviat was late to the party. Going to try and play that bomb instead. Could stick it, but opts not to. Getting closer with the AWP, and Cirque doesn't fall for the bait. Sviat has to be the one to make the move, and Cirque's coming in on the back line. He is not getting out of this one. No ace, but no worry. NRG, they find their first round, and Sviat, he's going to find himself down.
Yeah, of course, that's the round that NRG get, right?
Yeah,
like,
reasonable.
you have a 3-on-3, 2 players at sub 5 HP, and it's the guy who's lowest, Cirque, in a 1v2 there, with 3 kills to his name already, finishes it off with 4, isn't able to get the ace, but he's locked in the round anyway on the back of that play, and maybe that there is going to be the confidence boost that NRG so desperately needed to get off to a bit of a better start here in this matchup.
Maybe we're seeing why Cirque is yet to really don this AWP even when it's been an option. He is looking lights out with the Krieg right now, hitting headshots left and right, Harry. Ooh. That nade's going to chunk him though. He is magnetic apparently, according to these HEs that have just been landing at his feet. But right now, NRG 4 Glils. This is not a buy you want, considering they won the previous round, but that's the win bonus for you. Kinky's up on the toilets. He is alone for the time being. Speedak up on long. Flash is starting to go through, and Kinky, he gets the second one in his face. He's got to move back. NRG afforded toilets control very easily because Speedak's also dropped off of this position, and we will see a pre-rotation from DreamEaters, who are yet to see any kind of B progress. But I love this from NRG. You can see that bomb on the minimap already wrapping back through spawn. They take toilets control, they force DreamEaters back, and now they can set up for a 5-on-2 execute into that B site.
Thing to bear in mind that last round coming down to the wire, right? Coming down to Cirque being the only man left up, and then falling at the very end and losing his Krieg has left a buy here for NRG, even though they won that previous round in a very, very bad spot. So you're coming into this with the potential of like a full economic reset looming over you almost. Back to the drawing board is what it would be if NRG lose this round. So a lot of pressure on it, and they're outside of the B bomb site. 3 players here for DreamEaters lie in wait to try and set him packing. They go through this smoke, and it's a mow-downs for Sviat. Tarek left up alone. Forrester shuts him down as well. 6-1 for DreamEaters. A damn near flawless round. Krad being the only man to fall. And now sitting 6-1 up, back in the lead in a big way, are DreamEaters. And as we were just touching upon, Hugo, no real money left for NRG. It's a bit of an awkward spot to be in. Still sitting, I think, on that on near max loss bonus, but not quite.
Those GG bet odds also having shifted quite significantly since the beginning of this game. It was originally 4.38 for DreamEaters, now only 2.5. And things are certainly looking that way. Pistols for this T side. Kinky up in the party, waiting for it. He's got 2. We'll have to fall back, low HP, but his job is done, really. Yeah, it doesn't get away. Deagle's chasing down, but the AWP is still in position, and Speedak, he can just try and defend this gun. Doesn't want to give them anything. 2 more kills from him, and only Ethan waiting in for the re-peek in middle. This is looking like a done deal for round number 8. The 7th on the board for DreamEaters, and this is not the scoreline I expected. They are looking ferocious right now on the CT side. We need NRG to get, a semblance of this T side, 4 or 5 rounds at least, so they can have a chance to at least compete moving forward. But right now, we are not seeing many signs of life.
No, I mean, in the realm, right, of perception, Hugo, outside of real life, I can almost hear the 50,000 voices or so that are watching this crying out that their 0-3 pick'ems may be about to be undone. If DreamEaters can keep this godlike form up, I don't know where this has come from. They've clearly been putting in some prep, because they've arrived guns blazing here into this matchup. Speedak's all the way down through long. Now he's going to hear Breezy rallying off some shots from Party. Players trying to get down into the connector. Kinky is there and will get 1. He's going to make that call to Speedak that he's spotted 2 players here. And so now he'll wrap around into the Party. This is allowed for a 4-man hold down in the B bomb site. NRG are walking into a stack.
Yeah, but there's still that flank to take into account. Krad's going to get 1. Ethan diving past the Molotov to his death. And Circle the AWP finally reigning true. Breezy will follow up as well. It's only this flank coming through for Speedak. He's going to try and time the door with some noise being made from NRG. Maybe even with that bomb plant, but no, just waiting. Hoping something gets gifted his way. It won't be the case. He's going to have to go for it himself. AWP in close range. Utility already going through, but he's going to commit with the monster play instead. Now, Breezy does have his back turned, but he will move out of the line of sight, so Speedak's going to make a lot of noise. Got to get that gun out. Breezy's right around the corner, and Cirque will be the man to finish it off instead. That AWP finally coming alive for NRG. And maybe the start of something new here on the T side, maybe a chance for them to build back into this game despite the early start from DreamEaters.
Yeah, it's taken them a little while, but they're getting into it, and really the man that we've been looking towards is Cirque on that AWP, not AWP rather, but just whatever he's had in hand, whether it's the AWP, whether it's the Krieg, anything with his scope, he's been the man to keep an eye on. And that's the thing, for me, he's always been someone who's a little bit inconsistent within NRG, always has his moments, but it's good that we're seeing him At least having some consistency early on here. Tarek opening up. That speed at gone. And this time, that AWP that's been so good for DreamEaters at finding these little advantages early is actually the first thing to fall. So finally, we're seeing NRG once more sat in this good position. 5v4 up. Very much in the driving seat right now. And it's going to get extended even further. Kinky found aggressing in through long.
Oh.
Question mark is Sviat though, right? It's been... yeah, I was going to say, it shouldn't have been confident there's anyone over at long, and he's just been lying in wait, playing for that late trade, that bait and switch with his teammate Kinky that had fallen over at long earlier in the round, and he'll take up that position over at the rock. 2 players out toilets behind him. Sviat finally shut down by Tarek, and man advantage taken once again for NRG. 40 seconds left on the clock, so they've got a little bit of time to play with here. It looks like it's going to be the A play from NRG. Just Forrester left to try and hold them back.
Yeah, that will be confirmed by the fact that Crad knows these players are up on A, and in order for them to come B, they have to walk through short. That's where he's watching as well. Tarek, and I hope he finds this fight successfully, because there's 20 seconds, he needs the kill. Gap in the smoke, he's going to abuse it. Forrester playing close, he can't afford to put the bomb, and this can still not be a problem for NRG. They find the trade, that's all they needed. 2-on-1, bomb can go down now on the site, and Crad is all that remains. Got to come in from the back line, they've already spotted him. They can disengage and force him to take the fight. The plant now in the favor of NRG. Crad doesn't have a lot of chance. They would have to give him 2 individual 1v1s, but you can see they're set up for the double peek, waiting for him to move on to the site. Ethan gets spotted mid-air. Tarek should re-peek off the back of this, and he does. NRG lock in at a 3rd round, and I'm loving the change of pace that we're seeing once they've started to find confidence. Really fast A short takes, getting into position far more early. A great attempt from Sviat, of course, hiding around long after 2 of his teammates die on A. NRG assume they've cleaned up all those A players, but he only brings back 2. He only makes it a 3-on-3 that eventually gets closed out by NRG. So 7-3, and they're starting to come alive, Harry.
Yeah, I think Sviat there, you know, he does all he could have possibly done in that situation. But I mean, the second, right, you deal with those first 2 players, the only 2 players really that you had any idea as to the whereabouts of on that DreamEaters squad, you're throwing into like this like 1v3 scenario where potentially around every corner there could lurk someone looking to come and get that trade, right? And so he just homes in on an angle, he just holds long, tries to play for the 1 position, and obviously it doesn't work out, but I still think a 2-for-1 on his behalf. He definitely had done more than enough here, or at least done his bit for the team. It's nice to see NRG starting to grind their way back into this now. In particular, Tarek looked like he was getting off to a bit of a rough start, right? Was getting caught by a few timings every now and again. He was very often the first man to fall for NRG. We see him in that round there, get 3 kills, starting to rise up the scoreboard now, starting to build up a little bit of confidence perhaps. Technical pause. I believe that we saw a player from DreamEaters drop from the server. I didn't see which one, but I imagine we're working hard to get them back in.
Looks to be the case. Yeah, I do like that reposition from Sviat as well, behind the rock, getting aggressive on long after his 2K. It's just a shame he didn't hear the players moving in from behind him. He could have got a little bit more out of that one. At least spirits are still high for NRG despite the scoreline not being higher. But this is an early start, you know. Still plenty of time for them to warm up coming into this matchup and regain some composure. Definitely needed right now. DreamEaters are making them work for it. And we're going to start to reach a point where that economy of DreamEaters is going to be called into question. It might even be in this round where they begin to lose out on money because, of course, that's multiple rounds in a row where NRG have just bought up round after round. Win or lose, doesn't matter. It's been justifiable, right? They've had rifles on almost every single one of them. I would even justify that 2nd round force buy, even though it was after a bomb plant. I mean, if you're coming into this game as, you know, the expected victor, can't really blame them for being confident. But let's see if the confidence pays off here, Harry.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? It can be like a real double-edged sword to come in a fashion like NRG have, right, where they are the favorites. It was, and I feel like we so often see this with teams, is it's like, it almost looks like it's easier to be the underdog, right? Because no one ever expects you to win. So then when you do, it's like incredible. Whereas when finally people are looking at you like, you know, this should be easy for you, guy, that's where the pressure can really start to get to you. You know, when you kind of got like nothing to lose as such and everything to gain, it's very easy to not feel that sort of pressure, right? And that's the thing. NRG coming into this one as the heavy favorites, I feel like that can both play with them and it can play against them, right? And so the fact that we're seeing them finding their footing now, if they can keep this up, if they can just keep stringing a few rounds together, take control of the economy, I feel like that's where we see them get the reins back on this game how they should have early on. But if they lose this, however, you know, if they start to have a few rounds turn sour and then we see DreamEaters kind of pull ahead again, that's where you're going to start to doubt yourself. That's where you're going to start kind of focusing on, well, you know, we should be better than this, guys. You know, this isn't the standard that we play up to. And, you know, I mean, you can kind of have like mentality decide a game before it's even over if that's how you start thinking.
This is not the only CIS success, though, right now, Harry. Simon is sitting 4-3 up against Vitality over on Dust 2 right now. Early days also, but still a CIS team you know, finding a start of an upset, getting on the board. I think we're getting back into things. I just saw the admins go back and the players readjust their chairs. That's a positive sign, especially in the Secret Lab chairs, I'll tell you that much. But maybe it was all a ruse. No. That's a replay. So it was.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I feel like right now, I don't know why, but I just think with NRG, we haven't like seen the team that I'm used to seeing just yet, right? It still feels like they're trying to get some of that rust off, right? They're trying to adjust to the day and get into the swing of things.
How do you de-rust, Harry?
I don't know. Like, what? How do you de-rust something? What gets rid of rust? Can you get rid of rust? Do you just have to cut it off? I thought like bad cheese.
A scab.
Yeah, well, like a scab, I guess. You just pick the rust away, and then it's all good eating under there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice bowl of metal.
What is it you get from like rusty metal? Tetanus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got your tetanus shots?
I think so.
I definitely don't. So
Yeah,
I cannot
that.
be eating
Harry's part of the anti-vax
I'm a hardcore anti-vaxxer, actually, yeah. That's like, see, it's worth it because it's like I'm hyper intelligent, but I am also dying of 4 different diseases. So it's like swings and roundabouts, isn't it? DreamEaters up 7-3. NRG in with a bye, and Hugo, you called it. You looked into your crystal ball. You've seen the future because they are out of money, and this is where NRG should look to try and take a flawless round, try and build up some cash of their own. Cheeky run, Moose throwing in over towards long, but it doesn't look like it's really going to get DreamEaters all too much, as this B stack is made very, very quick work of by NRG. It was just vanilla pistols, so 4-7 right now, and a bye coming up in the next round for DreamEaters.
If you're NRG there, you want to run into a stack. You just want to get that round done and dusted as quick as possible. Just flex and start to get your confidence back. 4 rounds here. This is a great T side so far, considering this was 7-1 at one point. I was very worried, but NRG have recovered some of the harder rounds, breaking that economy early of DreamEaters, and now it's starting to resurge a little bit. No op yet, but 5 rifles at least for DreamEaters, and I think NRG want to keep the pace high. Back into the B-bomb site. Ethan's ready with the smoke from that Molotov. They go right through it. Forrester's there though, and 2 kills. Out to the creek. He's dropped a bomb as well. This man is not stopping until finally put down through the smoke by Stanislaw, who will remain the last man standing. 1v3. He does have the chance to get that bomb plant. Only player in the B site is Sviat watching from heaven. So Stan with a short Molotov, no one pushing off the back of it, and he might just go for that bomb plant quickly.
Looks like Stanislaw was playing this one for the long game.
Sneaky Stan.
He'll back away for the time being. Still a minute left on the clock, so he is not shy on at time, is Stanislaw here. Wrapping back, has the bomb. 3 players up on the side of DreamEaters. They've got 2 smoke grenades between them, a flashbang on Speedak and Sviat. He is the man with the Molotov and defuse kit, so keep an eye on him if this bomb does go down. Stan is desperately looking for a gap to exploit, something to give somewhere on the map, and he has managed to get past Speedak, who's down in connector. Stanislaw, will he have the read? This is one that, timing! Down goes Speedak, and now it's a 1v2. Now there's a real chance for old mate Stanislaw. He's missed the smoke. Might be to his advantage, though, because that's going to block off the line of sight of Kinky back at the connector. 5 seconds, and he's missed the bomb plant. So Stanislaw try as he might. Now he's out of ammo. This is chaos. He's trying to stay alive, and he will. What a round. What a weird round.
Yeah. I think because he messed up the dumpster smoke, he assumed someone would be a fast rotation from heaven, which was correct, but it was actually Kinky to rush through the smoke from behind. The player on dumpster just waited. So if Stan insta-planted that bomb, very good chance that he wins that 1v2 as well. So unfortunate, but he wasn't to know. And of course, the miss smoke certainly threw in a bit of caution in the wind. Nice try either way. Makes it worth its while by taking down another player and leaving only 2 surviving for DreamEaters. Look at this setup though, Harry. 4 players up on A right now for DreamEaters. They're going to go inside of the connector with 2. Just for us to jump spotting B, he's got to be caring of Molly, Monster rather, but NRG aren't coming in through that position. Molly in the connector and more towards the party as NRG trying to force back this aggressive setup of DreamEaters, but they're yet to know what will unfold. Tarek spots him. Kinky gets the better of him though in the swing, and now more players coming out from short. Kinky's got to do a little bit more damage. Stanislaw spotting his head, and Kinky just going to give it up for the time being. Krad doing damage as well down in the connector and swapping positions in the smoke. That is so close. Oh, yeah, but that's the bomb.
Yeah, I feel like this is better for DreamEaters. I think NRG maybe have an idea that there could be players behind, but no, Speedak's going to make his presence known. And that stand dropped. Breezy and Cirque left up. And it was really kind of a flip of the coin as to who gets the better of the timings there on that smoke push, who gets the bigger advantage. Now, waited over in park, Breezy wrapping on round. Cirque in connector will delete Kinky, dealing with that first man, but he's lost his teammate and now alone in the 1v4. Likely going to try and just hold on to the AWP, but I mean, there's not really much you could... I just don't really feel there's much you can look to do at this point in time if you're Cirque, right? The bomb under the control of DreamEaters, you've got no information where they are, no money as well in the side of NRG, so yeah, he will just concede this round. DreamEaters 9-4. Still a very, very strong CT side from the CIS squad.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge round, right? Very aggressive A setup. NRG almost red there, right? They've gone for so many B plays. At some point, DreamEaters go, okay, they're not going to be B this time. They're not going to go for that fast monster play. Let's set up on A. Let's get in the connector as well and just try and get in the face of NRG. That they do. And Cirque, he couldn't feel safe saving there on long, right? Like, players pushed behind him, players on the A site. I think he just gets away with that AWP, but... This is a rough one for NRG right now. 4 rounds to their name. It's okay, but it's not what you want, considering you're coming into this team as the expected victor. And, you know, at least in the expectations of most, a team that's guaranteeing a spot through to the next stage, whereas DreamEaters, on the other hand, this is one of the most common 0-3 pick'ems, and they are currently trouncing NRG.
And I think, you know, when you look at the teams present in this stage of the major, there's so many talented teams that I feel like it's like pretty common ground to have DreamEaters kind of back of the pack, right? Or at least towards like the lower end of the standings.
Just in terms of what they've
exactly. Just looking purely at their achievements, at the stats we've had, what we've seen from this squad, and they're really impressing, you know, just solely on the back of that. And I also feel like, you know, for NRG, it's kind of, you know, like now's the wake-up call, right? Like now is where you have to start to bring your A game, because if you can't beat DreamEaters here at the major, then I'm looking at the rest of the teams and I'm wondering then, who are you looking at and feeling like you can confidently beat?
We are still early days though. First game of the major. Morning match as well, but should be getting right back into things here at NRG. This is it, do or die. They've got another rifle round, but DreamEaters have got a free AWP as well. Speed axe on his. Kinky nades into the playground. That will do a bit of damage. Cirque again getting bullied by the utility. That's been the really the story of his half so far. So for now, it's just a slower round for NRG, aware the DreamEaters could again be pushed up, but they've gone back to a far more standard setup. I imagine NRG are not going to be happy with the constant changes of pace that DreamEaters are providing them, making them guess pretty much every single round. I mean, NRG are slow creeping through Fountain right now. They will find their way up A long with little resistance. DreamEaters sat back on the site without AWP watching this position. Only 2 players on A right now. That might need to change if a smoke comes down to cut off the line of sight of Speedak.
Keep your eye on Crad and Forrester as well over towards Monster. They're running that double setup, and we've seen them elect to go for these smoke pushes down towards B when those Monster smokes fade. I was curious if we were going to see that again, because that would have been a lot of information gained for DreamEaters. Instead, they re-smoke short, they'll pull back into the B bomb site, and they'll rotate a 3rd man up into A. The timing on that is picture perfect here for DreamEaters. 3 players here ready to receive this A-side play, and Sviat trying to do the damage. It's going to be Forrester really left to do the bulk of it. 2 kills already. Tarek left up alone for NRG. Will get that bomb down at the very least. But will he get any more? They're already wrapping onto him. And Tarek, how's he managed to get away? How's he managed to hide? They finally shut him down. And I'm smiling a lot because, like, that was just messy. Like, that was... He shouldn't have survived that long, but I'm very, very glad that at least then it went the way it should have. Like, if Tarek had clutched that on the back of him just being allowed to stroll behind the boxes, it would have felt like a very odd round indeed.
DreamEaters remaining dynamic, though. I mean, just look at the ways that they approach every single round differently in terms of, like, not only the early round with the aggressive setups, but even there in the 2-on-1. If you compare that to the round where we had Stan trying to plant on the A site, DreamEaters weren't getting aggressive from the bank or stairs. They weren't trying to hunt that plant down. They were just playing the time. Right there, they hear Tarek planting, they double push him. The last thing he'd expect, really, especially considering how they played some of these earlier situations. The unknown, I think, is somewhat of the problem here for NRG, especially when you have a team that you have little expectation of, little in terms of, you know, prep to do for this team. But right now, they are really putting up the numbers. 10-4, last round of the half here. NRG, they need this more than anything. It's again the triple B boost that didn't really find anything when they pulled it into the first rifle round, but let's see if NRG walk into it this time. It's a nice split. Crack gets caught. Now, they definitely won't expect this position, but they've already fallen off for the boost. DreamEaters moving inside of the site, and NRG running out through Monster. It's a quick execute for this terrorist side, and they finally have an advantage to do it with.
Yeah, already all 4 players here for DreamEaters knocking on the door of NRG, and it's Forrester and Sviat between them, finding 3 kills, Ethan and Tarek. Suddenly, they were looking good. It was looking like an NRG round. Now it's thrown into the 2v2, but they're making quick work of DreamEaters on this retake. Sviat left up alone. 1v2 required, just 4 points of health, and it's not looking good for him. Ethan shuts him down. They will round out a 5-round half there on the side of NRG. So pretty even Stevens down the middle, what we would expect, like a very run-of-the-mill kind of scoreline. NRG still behind at the end of that first half. Can they catch up as we expect? Or are DreamEaters going to keep on impressing? We will find out after a quick commercial break. DreamEaters or World Beaters. They look like they might be about to take down NRG. They're sat 10-5 up on the half. Now, it's a bit of a margin for the underdog at CIS squad, but it still can feel like a very small amount of wiggle room to work with when you're in that situation. You know, there's only 5 rounds between these two teams at the end of the day. Pistol round alone could suddenly propel NRG back into a very good point in this matchup. So a lot of it going to be resting on this coming round. Round 16 about to come up. As we say, DreamEaters in the lead. NRG doing a job of at least cobbling together a much more respectable half from how it was looking initially. They did go 6-0 down, if you remember, in the early stages of this game. So well recovered for the time being. Early on, 4-man B set up here for NRG. A solo player peeking mid. I think that was Tarek running on down. I believe maybe he went for a fountain peek. That's normally the way that you see these stacks go down. And then if you don't see players crossing mid, if you don't hear a presence down in connector, then you're marginally safe in your assumption to keep this 4-man B stack.
It's a very similar pistol, though, with utility being thrown in from Monster, but not the push into B. It's connected back up towards A for some of these guys with the bomb. DreamEaters still throwing in nades towards that lower site, but don't get confused. This is all a ruse. DreamEaters walking into an empty A site right now. There's still 2 players committed down on B, and this wall of smokes is proving to be a bit of a problem for NRG. They get a dink on Stan and they rotate out, but that's when Tarek decides to rotate back in. He needs a kill here to really soften the targets up, really make this retake doable for NRG, because they are currently disadvantaged. I love this pistol from DreamEaters. Great trade from Breezy, but still trades going back and forth into a 3-on-3. Breeze not giving up yet, but he might have to, because Krad's doubled down with a P250. Sviat coming in from long, Ethan covering his back, and now Speedek needing to win this 1v2. Stan's still low from that thing, but Ethan will not stop fragging. 3 kills in the pistol round, and NRG will pick it up. What a start, though, from DreamEaters. I love that execute from them.
Yeah, I've already been very impressed with kind of how dynamic these defaults, these little set pieces as well that DreamEaters have thrown in have looked, right? They've done a good job of keeping it varied, and especially on the CT side, it seemed like they were doing a very, very good job of playing proactively, right? And getting like tiny tidbits of information here and there, and then just using that to make those mid-round calls and change up positioning on the fly. Will their T side kind of be more of the same, or is this where we finally start to see some problems occurring for DreamEaters? They've gone for the hero AK buy, or the Russian AK buy as it used to be known. The one rifle in the hands of Kinky. And he will get out towards mid with it. Tarek and Cirque on the other side, and Cirque down in the divider. Now starting to back away. So mid control will get taken by DreamEaters. They spot a player out down towards B. They still don't really have much of an idea as to where this play looks to end up. A lot of it going to fall onto the back of Kinky, and whether or not he is able to be that catalyst, if he is able to be the point man with the rifle in this round.
Oh, I like this little boost towards toilets. Tarek, oh, he got spotted on the cross. I don't think he would have seen Kinky there through the glass, but now Kinky knows Tarek's pin. He's going to go back in, and to his death. Great way to start off with a pick here for DreamEaters, but again, you have to remember that 4 of these players have nothing to their name but pistols and no armor. Pressure really is on Kinky to do the damage. Cirque spots another player. Sviat with the bomb gets dropped as well. Krad's up from long, and he finds a timing. He finds a kill as well. Cirque gets dropped. Stan is the only defender on this site. This AK rips him to shreds. 2 CTs left back up. Plenty of time for DreamEaters to close the gap, but they will get this bomb down on the site. No armor left, no problem left, as Ethan gets dropped as well, and Breeze on the flank has to do it all on his own. He's found a bit of damage, but they're just going to flood away from this bomb site and make his job very difficult.
Yeah, that is so devastating for Breezy. He gets a bit of damage onto Krad, but not Forrester, the man who was just 7 points of health. And so the fact that he doesn't even get one there, now he's throwing into this 1v3 clutch, and they're just playing for the defuse on the side of DreamEaters. They're waiting for him to have to tap that bomb, and they're whittling away at the HP. An AK on an armor is all that they had in that round, and they're able to find success with it. 11-6 at the end of the first half. Sorry, what am I on about? 11-6 at the end of that round. DreamEaters now looking to move into the lead in this second half. There we go, the words got muddled up, but now it's all come out in the right order. And NRG I'm curious if we're going to see them force buy into this round and go force buy wars, or if you do just, you know, try and get your full buyout as soon as possible.
With so little money, you may as well force it. There's no reason to eco. You know, your buy is going to be coming through in the same round regardless because of that loss bonus. So pistols and armor, maybe they can flip it back, but it's not looking good, Harry. Great entry from Forrester. Catching standards on top of that boost. They're going to re-aggress towards short, but he's waiting with the AK, not waiting patiently enough. Breeze with a kill, and Kinky wants to try and put distance between him and these pistols. He will get one. It's actually Sviat to come in from behind with a double instead. Can grab an AK-47 from down in that tunnel, and there's one CT moving down on B. It's Cirque alone. His teammate up in toilets right now, and they still have no idea where this is going. DreamEaters being so patient in this 3-on-2, just holding for NRG, hoping they re-aggress and play for information. And Tarek will, but all this does is confirm the fact this is a B play. Cirque still has to go nuclear.
And it would start with getting these two players both looking to come in from Monster. Timing will be everything here for Cirque. He'll reposition instead, set himself up for short. Krad is that first point of contact, and Cirque does deal with him. Now the 2v2, Famas picked up. Cirque back in, Speedax shuts him down, and this now leaves Tarek alone, but he's been flanking for a very long time. Finally emerges, and the moment he does, he gets put back in his hobbit hole, he gets shut down. And that's another round for the DreamEaters. That was the force buy as well from NRG, so they've got to eco this round, and this could very, very realistically, in fact, it should be a 13-6 scoreline before we even see that first buy for NRG come in.
Which is absolutely terrifying, right? We praise them for at least pulling things together at the end of the first half, locking in 5 rounds. They even, you know, like... Considering that that was a 6-0, 7-1 scoreline, you know, 10-5, you're going to be happy with that, but you're not going to be happy with this, Harry. This is dire. 13-6 potential here if these USPs don't form a huge upset, which I am not leaning on. Cirque's pushed on long, but Speedax waiting for it with his own AWP, so no push coming through here from Cirque. At least not yet. Smoke's going towards the toilets, and DreamEaters starting to move up. They still have players outside of B, but that bomb is going to be joining these top site players now. So only throwing in a bit of a fake towards that lower site. Nice aggression, good timing. Krad gets caught. NRG very much on the same page here. So yeah, trying to push across. The orb does fire off, and now it's being flanked. Cirque's got himself a free AWP. This is a 5-on-3 with only USPs, and NRG are making it look like a rifle round. Tarek hiding inside of the smoke on B. He hears them run away. He hears them get aggressive. So now NRG are going to know that DreamEaters could already be on that A site, but DreamEaters don't know that Tarek's already on the B site. The turnaround for Sviat finds him, and now that bomb plant can come down, but NRG still have weapons to play with. They have to know about this position.
Oh yeah, you can see Cirque is so ready, but the lack of the armor comes back to punish him here. Kinky. Oh, he almost gets 3, helped out by Sphere, and I mean, that there has shut this entire round down. Stan is still left up alone, and a 1v2 to find. No kit, no gun, no armor, nothing going his way. That one Molotov maybe could be used to nullify one of these angles, but no. DreamEaters in with another. As we prophesied, 13-6. Now we get to have this buy for NRG. The problem is, with getting your buy here, in round number 20 at a 13-6 scoreline on the CT side, is that even with the max loss bonus banked up, when you invest in this round, if you lose it, you're in a situation where your decision is you either partially invest and then play for overtime if you lose, or you cobble together the best force you can, but it's going to be missing rifles, it's going to be missing utility. So this is a must-win round now for NRG.
This is do or die, Harry. If they don't get this, they likely lose the map, and that realization is probably setting in for them now. They haven't got more than one kit. They've barely got utility after the first 20 seconds, and I mean, even on a FAMAS, poor guy. So DreamEaters setting up outside of B, and close positions from NRG as they look to counteract a potential monster push. And Molotov, well, that'll counteract their positions. Great nade back in response, but that molly will force Ethan out of his spot. Breezy fully blinded, not looking into the wall. They don't realize, yes they do. Krad turns around while blind. Ethan fully white does get himself a kill, but still these entries are in for DreamEaters. The B site being cleaned up. Only Cirque left on the AWP. He has had some shines of brilliance in this game, but this would be one step too far.
Yeah, almost definitely right. 1-on-3 required, and just so many bodies inside of the bomb site. These smokes down as well to make things feel that much more claustrophobic, and now they'll tap that bomb. Cirque trying to go for the wall bang, not quite able to find it. And yeah, I mean, at this point,
what do you do?
Likely just going to have to save. Maybe he takes a little look in from heaven, just sees if he can catch anyone out. But I'm worried that all this is going to do is have him die to Speedak, and there it is. DreamEaters 14-6. No money for NRG.
Shh. What's that you hear, Harry? Is that the sound of thousands upon thousands of pick'ems bursting into flames?
Yeah, I think it just might be, Hugo. I think that is exactly what we're hearing. We're seeing it. We're seeing the destruction of our pick'ems before our very eyes. It's Quantum Bellator fire all over again.
God. Get the boots out, Vince.
Yeah, get the boots out for Vince. Hugo, what would we eat if I don't know, if DreamEaters make top 8?
Well, I'm not betting against that because CIS upsets Harry. I don't want to get on that train. It's a wild ride as it is. And talking of wild CIS rides, over on the other stream, Harry, Simon is 14-5 up against Vitality.
Of course.
As we all expected.
I mean, Simon Gaming, they've been on the grind. Vitality, I can't even think of a player who I would look at in that team that matches with anyone on Simon.
No one's on the same level.
Maybe RPK. Something like that.
Yeah, who knows? Well, no one apparently, because they got 5 rounds to their name, but well, now 6. NRG are in a similar position, but they've gone for the eco. They're playing for overtime, Harry.
CIS region has been grinding. Like it went from being less slots at the major to now they might just be getting all the slots at the major. Ethan, obviously, by the way, it's game 1. I'm being very hyperbolic. Like they're looking good, but let's not overhype it yet. Let's see how they look throughout the rest of the event. Still very impressed with this matchup here versus NRG. Cirque's up through the connector ladder, and it's actually behind enemy lines. Let's see how this is going to influence this round, because, while he's getting a lot of information, he hasn't actually seen anyone yet. So he knows that ramp is clear. It's all going to come down to if he spots this long play. And with Kinky now wrapping in from behind, this is a very confusing round. It's cat and mouse.
Yeah.
And it's whoever finds each other first. There's Kinky with the spot. Cirque's been dropped. And now the man advantage for DreamEaters. Kinky continuing to put up numbers, and everyone's fallen. Round is the way of DreamEaters. 15-6. Map point for the CIS squad. Just one away from destroying the Pick'em Dream and moving 1-0 up in this, at the major.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? Best of 1 opening games here in the Swiss format, Harry. Obviously, best of 3's moving forward, but to have a best of 1 opener, that really sets up, teams like, massive underdog CIS rosters. The Asian region as well is going to be very much happy with best of 1s, and right now it is working wonderfully. 15-6. NRG, what else have you got for us? What can you do with these rifles? Double AWP coming through. Ethan's going to be joining Cirque, who is pushed up on long. That smoke almost gives him a view of Krat. He's going to hit it full white. Ridiculous. What an opening kill. NRG will be happy with that one, but they're going to need a whole lot more where that came from. The AWP for DreamEaters still alive and kicking, and starting to close the distance in between that and the A site.
Yeah, so now managing to get this foothold over in connector. That's Forrester to clear this area on the map.
Simon, flying 2 from 1.
Kinky, Sviat, and Speedak down in the toilet, creeping on forward. Cirque does lie in wait at the A bomb site. He's playing a bait and switch with Tarek. Cirque, the man to try and draw the attention in, and then Tarek looking to go unchecked. No long presence, however, from DreamEaters, so this little double stack might never even see the light of day. Cirque's looking short, and he's got the AWP, he's primed, he's ready, and Kinky will walk into his crosshair. 25 seconds left. The DreamEaters don't really have a choice but to commit to this A play, even though they know the AWP is here.
Look at Tarek as well. He's right behind them. He's walked all the way in through toilets, and they have absolutely no clue. He can get a triple kill. There's the first. Trade is instant, though. The thing is, the time is too low. 10 seconds. Freeze trying to hold off on the site. Sviat gets a kill, but that's the bomb dropped, and with that, the round. Speed can't get anywhere but the graveyard. And Ethan and Cirque, they find 2 kills apiece with those AWPs. starting to come alive for NRG, but maybe too late, Harry. 15-7 is still the score. They've got to go flawless to bring it to overtime, and even then, their job has only just begun.
And just still such a long road for NRG to even, really consider this comeback a possibility. They need 8 rounds consecutively if they want to take this one through to overtime. Now, they have finally broken down that DreamEaters money. They haven't got that loss bonus built up, so if we can see these AWPs start to find success now for NRG, then maybe there's still hope yet. Eastern opening this round up. More players pushing on in. Stanislaw lies in wait. Kinky has managed to get past, but will finally get dropped. Stan dealt with now. But Eastern delivering in spades. 3 kills on the AWP, kind of stealing that mantle away from Cirque in these last few rounds.
The lowest rated team here just took down the highest rated.
Ooh, and I just overheard
hear
from next door. Simon just took down Vitality.
Yikes.
What is going on?
Hey, not going to be the only upset to kick off our day here, Harry. Quick timeout for DreamEaters. That's a good call as well, right? Get on top of things. Make sure that you don't let a scoreline like this slip. You are still the underdog despite you being in the lead. So work out what NRG are doing. Work out how you want to solve that problem. Mainly, it is those AWPs, as you've brought up as well. Cirque and Ethan really finding damage and impact with those. The money is still a bit of a problem for DreamEaters, so going to be a half buy, just pistols, likely not even see much armor here as well.
Yeah, I mean, since seeing these double AWPs spawned out for NRG, it has seemed like a kind of new lease on life for this CT side. The problem is they've just left themselves with no room. It's Cirque once again on this AWP to open this round up. Obviously, it's only the pistols they're up against, so this is one that NRG should be looking at to convert and continue to make this comeback at least look doable.
Oh no.
Actually, just as I say that, Stan falling down in the connector. Now, there are still players over here in mid on either side of the equation. Tarek being one of them. He's dropped the bomb out in the open. And so him and Cirque, they might look to hold down this area just for a bit, see if they can catch players looking for that.
That was a bit of a lapse of communication there from NRG, where Stan didn't realize that his back wasn't covered, that the party was available to be taken by the T's, because Tarek was playing inside the toilets, and he tried to back off and walks into the firing line. Still shouldn't be an issue though, Harry. AKs are tearing through these players, and Tarek will clean up the round with 3. 9 for NRG. Is there a world where we could still see overtime here? I know 6 rounds isn't the craziest kind of scoreline to get in a row, but DreamEaters looked so in control of this game for so long.
That's the thing, man. I think that this kind of game, like I don't think you can look at this and say whether or not we can see overtime, even if we were like 1 round away from it, right? Even if this was 14-15, I would never feel comfortable to say that it looks guaranteed. Just because DreamEaters, they'll have like these moments where they look so like cohesive. They just work, synergize so well together. They're even throwing this this quad boost in. Will they get anything from it?
Someone's rotating down. If they go towards heaven and try and jump into the pit, that could be a kill, but they reconsider. For a second, it looked like Tarek was going down towards B, but changed his mind. Realizing that with a double A long setup, they have no control towards short, needing to fill in the gaps.
I don't know about you, but I feel like CIS teams especially love that boost, like more than any other region. I just feel like I always see like Na'Vi throwing it in, or like, like, well, I was going to say Hellraiser,
like doing
I guess like they're not really.
Yeah, not anymore.
CIS,
only org.
Yeah, just the organization. Stan holding close and well, open this round up with a kill on a crowd. Quite the scalp to find as well. He really has been one of the consistent forces within DreamEaters throughout this match thus far. So a handy one for Stanislaw to remove from the rankings early on. push coming in towards B from DreamEaters, and this looks like it might just be the flat commitment here. They're already out through Monster, 35 seconds left, and Molotov's raining into the bomb site, still yet to get close, still yet to push up, but that smoke falling to block off Heaven and Graffiti will give them a veil to do exactly that.
Bomb trying to go down though. 19 seconds, Breeze jumps up and they're waiting for it. Bomb gets put in seconds after that, but Tarek's closed the distance with that smoke towards the pit. It's allowed him to move up towards the barrels, and he's found himself another kill. 4 on 2. NRG still looking to retake, but Sviat pushes in through the smoke, only good for 1. Now Speedak alone, 1 on 3. The bomb is planted for him, but plenty of utility for NRG to cut his line of sight off, and he can't get through the smoke. This is a done deal. It's a 10th round for NRG. They're starting to come alive, Harry, and this could be a huge worry for DreamEaters. They may have locked in 15, but the game is never over till it's over, and they are learning that the hard way.
Yeah, this is where, you know, you can almost get like too far ahead of yourself, right? Like, you know, you're coming into this, you're at like a 15-8 scoreline. Well, sorry, it was well, now they're at 15-10, but
yeah.
you know, you were at like a 15-8 scoreline. Things were looking really good. It looked like you were going to close this out.
15-6.
And now it's like slowly but surely NRG are getting these rounds together. And perhaps more importantly than that, they're doing it pretty cleanly, right? It doesn't really feel like DreamEaters are the ones in control of the pace of this game anymore. It's a much more 50-50 affair. Breezy opening up, and he's looking to get even more done here. Through that smoke, he has found so much damage. He's defeated this B-side play before it's even been spotted.
And the worst part about that is they've used all their utility to get to this point already. That now they have a smoke and a Molotov for the rest of the round, Harry. That's not what you want if you're DreamEaters. Not even flashbangs to get them through toilets. Double AWP still remaining strong for NRG. Crag going to push up with his. He's taking it from Speedak's body. First to fall outside of Monster. Cirque's posted, and he's going to hit the shot. Crag not ready for that aggressive position, and now NRG, I mean, 5 on 3. Again, DreamEaters with those 2 low HP players from earlier on that Monster spray, and they are going to continue to walk into this AWP if they come around through long. Sviat trying to smoke off close. But he's still going to have to jump up. Cirque spots him, and that's when Sviat reconsiders.
Oh, but as they try and go through short, Tarek is a real problem, especially as he catches his timing. Well, they check for him. They check, but the kill does not come through. Instead, it's Tarek and Stan, the men of that round, to step up when it matters most. They hold down the A bomb site, they lock it in, they keep that round under control. They don't let the early advantages that they were able to pick up slip through their fingers. Because that's the thing, I mean, you know, I think for NRG, it would be so devastating now that you've made this look so doable, now that you've kind of shown your true colors later on in this game, if it does just slip through the cracks, right? If it was just a matter of wrong place, wrong time on day one. It's looking up right now, 11-15. NRG slowly but surely getting back into this game and making a comeback look more than possible. Tarek, it's been a real return to form from him in these last few rounds. Rising up through that scoreboard, went from being very, very quiet. It's now being up alongside the rest of the squad. Cirque with another, and just Crown and Forrester remain, really not given much of a chance to find anything in this round. NRG 12-15, finally another bye back on the cards for DreamEaters. And I said I didn't want to call like an overtime looking lightly or anything. My mind's now changed on that completely. NRG are looking like the team I wanted to see. It was looking very just disjointed, I think, early on. Like, it felt just a bit rusty.
But, I mean, 6 rounds in a row now, Harry, to their name, and DreamEaters, they've got to be sweating. They've got a couple more rifles up the sleeve. Obviously, max loss bonus still being a factor here. But money ain't mattering if you don't do anything with it. Aggressive setup again, the boost with the AWP, and Cirque double scoped up, even gets the kill. Crag going to trade it right back, though. Does drop that AWP in the party. Won't be a worry. Speedak has his own anyway, and Ethan's got a secondary just as backup. Will decide to rotate round back up towards that A site in the form of Stan. Ethan stays in heaven to enable him to play both B and A. at least be very quick to rotate between the two. Only Breezy committed within the site, but DreamEaters is going towards A long with 3 here. Knowing that the main AWP player of this A site is gone, they're going to have a far easier job of getting up through long. They have to clear the toilets though, so still got to remain very, very careful about these close positions. Now they can set up a deep smoke, try and get up towards that site. And that's the shot they needed.
I mean, talk about seizing an opportunity, right? That boost gets thrown in, and they get a millisecond where they can claim a man advantage, and they catch the perfect timing. A bit of chance, a bit of luck has rolled the way of DreamEaters, and now they sit 4v3. Match point 15-12, trying to deny the comeback, but Stanislaw, their nightmare, back in the toilet, swinging wide. He's in with another. Speedak's gone. Breezy and Stan, they save the day. They keep that dream burning. NRG, another round. And now just 2 away from overtime. I mean, now this is looking likely.
I mean, now NRG believe in themselves. I mean, look at that. Look at what they just pulled off. A 3-on-4, and they just start rushing through smokes back into the bomb site. When you start to give a team like this confidence, that's your worst nightmare if you're DreamEaters. NRG coming back from a disadvantage and keeping this game still going. Stan, I love that as well. He gets a kill, he throws a Molotov almost as to signal like, okay, you can't get me, I'm hiding in the toilets, and then just peeks straight through the molly. Gets another kill from it. The bomb gets dropped on the other side of the site, and that will be NRG bordering overtime here. 2 rounds away. No bomb plan either for DreamEaters. I wonder if they've even got a full buy for this round, or if they go for a half investment to save money for the last. More likely than not. Depends how much kill bonus they already had. And they had plenty, actually, so it will still be a buy coming through. No AWP, but not a worry. The worry is the scoreline. The worry is the fact that NRG have pulled 7 rounds in a row to get back to this position, but Sviat almost catching the boost here. That was a kill that a few rounds ago DreamEaters got, but this time slips through their fingers. If that's not a metaphor for this entire map, I don't know what is.
Oh, that utility usage is brutal from NRG. Get out of the boost, DreamEaters. Sviat and Forrester both put down incredibly low.
Oh no.
Oh, Ethan's very lucky. Just missing this is Sviat. That Molotov goes in. Now they know that that comes from the boost. So smoked off by Breezy. He's got his back to it, holding close. Ethan opening up, Breezy in with another, and NRG knocking on the door of 14 rounds. They're going to get 1 more to bring this to overtime. It was 15-6 in favor of DreamEaters. And we might be about to see OT.
Just imagine if the player on that boost moved a little further right. That'd be a kill to Ethan, and that'd be a totally different round. That'd be a 5-on-4 immediately taken for DreamEaters. Now, quite the opposite situation, Harry. They're fighting up against overtime with 3 AKs, a Galil, and a Deagle. Not the buy you want. And NRG... still this double AWP, I don't blame them for it. Ethan's going down to the connector early. There's no one here. DreamEaters piling their forces up towards the top site. Tarek as well. What a ballsy call from NRG to make in round number 30, knowing the connector had not been too much of a factor of DreamEaters' T side, so they'll push up into it. Cirque needs to be careful. That smoke not down to his left, and players could just walk up on his fountain. Instead, he gets shot from the connector. I don't even know. Oh, it was a boost.
No, it was the boost on top of the slide for Party, right? He actually caught a glimpse of it for like a second as they were first constructing it. He's very, very lucky to be alive there, is Cirque, right? If that had been the man advantage for DreamEaters, this round could have gotten out of hand very, very quickly, but now that's not the case. Look at this on the picture-in-picture, by the way. Tarek, down in the bottom of connector. He's ready to come in on this flank. And even if he doesn't get any kills from it, which doesn't necessarily have to, it's the information he's getting right now that could be so valuable to NRG. Cirque spotted players out towards short. He's called that to Tarek, who's now coming in on this rotation. 3 players inside of the A bomb site. NRG, they are positioned perfectly to get us to overtime. This is all the recipes, all the makings of a successful round here. They've just got to close it out.
Oh, and spotted as well. Tarek sees the boost. He knows there are 2 players around this corner, and the same on the smoke on the main screen stream as well. Tarek finding one, Stan waiting in the cubby as well. Tarek's doubled it, and DreamEaters are getting shredded for limb from limb. They have no idea what's happening. They do check the corner, they do find Stan, but Tarek's still kicking, and Cirque's dropped another. That's overtime locked in, 15-15. And the game that keeps on giving will do exactly that, Harry.
So you are just tuning into the major. What a start to the day we've had. We've had a day of firsts, Hugo. The first day of the major, the first games of the major. We had the first CIS upset of the major going on over on the mainstream. And now we've got our first overtime comeback story potentially here on the B stream.
Hey, we could even have our second CIS.
Yeah, it's one or the other, right? It's like we either get a spicy upset from DreamEaters, or we have NRG making it like a bit of a statement. I think it's fair to say that's what this is, right? If you go 6-15 down, you pull it back to OT, and then you win. That is like a bit of a statement piece, I think.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, that just shows the confidence of this team, right? To still be believing in yourself at that kind of scoreline in your opening game, losing to such an underdog and pulling it back. I mean, honestly, my opinion, NRG are going to win this overtime 4-0. I don't think DreamEaters have got a round in them, even with the money. They have just looked shambles for the past few. Maybe when we see them on their T side, or sorry, CT side rather, they find a little bit more success, as that was where they initially got their 10 rounds. But other than that, Harry, this is a rough one. This is a very rough one. You can see they are certainly not looking too happy about how this matchup has gone for them, considering this was almost a surefire win. And now we've got to go to extra time, overtime.
So this is where, like, we always speak about the benefit of being an underdog, right? And the benefit is when you're winning, or if you're, like, making the comeback happen or something like that, then it's great. It's like fuel to the fire, right? Because you've got nothing to lose at that point in time. The problem is, if you're the underdog and you go 15-6 up, and this is the biggest opportunity you have ever had in your playing career, and then your opponent starts to make the comeback happen, that is when the nerves really kick in, because you know you're at the finish line. All that is left to do is walk across it, and it's that bit that you're having problems with.
And sometimes it's not, you know, a piece of paper finish line that you run through, you know, the string.
Yeah,
it's
cheese wire.
Yeah, it's cheese wire. You get grated up, mate. You get shredded. And that seems to be what's happening. I was going to go with a piece of metal, but that's a way better.
Yeah,
it's a way better analogy. Either way, this ain't great for DreamEaters, safe to say. But once you hit overtime, everything goes out the window, and they have had a couple of minutes break just to talk it through and at least prepare coming into these extra rounds. That being said, it goes the same way as NRG, who are sitting confidently, I was going to say in the lead, but you know, 15-15, even Stevens. But it does feel like the lead, considering they just won every round in the second half.
I don't know if you can slightly hear the players, but I can. And I think I just heard one of them say that they just need to get one round T-side. That's it. Like, and I tell you what, they're kind of reading into this the same way that you and I are as spectators, right? And that is, they are very much the ones in control now. You know, you've just won 9 rounds consecutively to get to overtime, and at this point you're looking to just keep that streak going. You're not looking, you know, the slate gets wiped clean, right? Like, you can forget about the fact that you had a very dismal start. You can forget about the fact that you went 0-6 down, because it's kind of all in the past now. Like, you know, it's the next 6 rounds now that decide the entire outcome of this game.
Hey, maybe more.
Maybe more.
That's the fun with overtime. Keeps on giving, doesn't keep stopping. That's what they say.
Yeah, because those two things would cancel each other out. If it was simultaneously keeping on keeping and keeping on stopping, then
wouldn't work,
keeping on nopping, mate, because that's just not possible.
Noping, more like.
Yeah, I did say the wrong word. But I mean, I tell you what, like, for NRG, you want to look at this game and you want to try and take something away from it. For DreamEaters, I think it's that they've clearly been putting in some preparation and some effort. And I feel like the problem that they're having now is just that it's very, very hard to keep your composure when things were looking so good and it's all turned so sour. For NRG, I'm really liking this, because I was really worried we were just going to have an NRG kind of like London fiasco, but maybe like one better, you know, like, okay, yeah, you leave in the challenges stage, but still, like, you want to be going further than that. So the fact that they've remained resilient and recovered so well, I feel like the names that you really have to be speaking about here, Cirque, top of the board, right, lights out on the AWP. Ethan, right behind him, has
his
been on that secondary AWP, and he was, you know, the second we had someone to kind of supplement Cirque, rise up alongside him, then that was when we kind of saw this team starting to come into their own a bit. And also, I think it's important to mention Tarek. He was trailing behind on like 5 kills heading into that 23rd round, and now he's set up alongside the rest of the squad. So he's done a stellar job of turning his game around on an individual level, and you can really kind of see how that's been complementing the team as a whole. Just one man fixing how he's been playing within the squad. That last round is a great example, right? Tarek going on that deep flank, pushing in through connector, getting behind the opposition, and getting that triple kill to cement the overtime. And I feel like a lot of that is coming off the back that he's kind of starting to feel confident again. He's actually making these calls within the team, right? Trying to be the man to find the opportunities and create the space, instead of just playing a very, very safe style of CS, very conservative like he was doing initially. Which I feel like, you know, a lot of players do it. If you are struggling to hit your shots, you don't want to be making the big plays, right? You do just want to fall back into your comfortable angles that you know and love.
But where's the fun in that?
No, yeah, exactly. Tarek's been chasing kills, chasing fun, and he's been having a great time.
Chasing content, mate, and I don't blame him right now. NRG are going to be content with this scoreline, 15-15, after a 15-6 lead to DreamEaters moving into that second half, and now, well, many more halves ahead of us once we get into overtime. A couple of replays first. Obviously, this was that big Tarek flank that you were talking about in the previous round. It's going to be the longest replay of all time, in fact, because he's sneaking. Nice to see DreamEaters making use of those window boosts. They've done that a few times this game as well. That's something you don't really see many teams put too much stake into. But finding successful picks out of it. Not in this round, though, as you can see. And hopefully we're getting back into things now. All players looking readied up, and headsets are back on. Chet is standing, not sleeping, and that's good news.
And yeah, I mean, the real question mark is just, can DreamEaters get themselves fired back up again? Can they get excited? Can they get believing? Or will this be the expected victors of NRG taking this one in overtime? We were so worried for our pick'ems. So the 100,000 or so of you that are tuning in right now, there's still hope. There's still hope for all of us that this could be saved. The only guys who might be a bit sad about it, DreamEaters, as they had a 15-6 lead at one point in time. Cirque opening this up. Kinky trying to catch those trades, not ready for Tarek, floating close. No scope in from Spidak. And now the bomb regained for DreamEaters. They do have it back under their control. They'll get out of connector and now join up over here in middle. Minute and 10 seconds left. So all this fighting going down in the opening kind of segments of this round leaves us with plenty of time now to fall into this slow default for DreamEaters. Look to try and find how NRG are playing this 3v3, because one of these bomb sites somewhere, something has to give for this CT side defense now.
Tarek swapped out to the AWP and connector there. I think he assumed that both players had already been killed, but there was another man in the midst looking after that bomb. And so now we're in this 3-on-3. This could have been so much better for NRG, but can't always work out. The smoke's towards the A side. That's going to be the left side dice smoke. Player deep in bank. Ethan's going to get cut off by this utility. Won't be able to get too much done with this AWP if they don't cross towards truck, and there's no real need to. They can get a toilet planted pretty safely. Ethan waiting. Forrester moving up, and that timing is awful. Ethan starts to walk along right as Forrester peeks him. Plant comes in on the truck. Double setup as well, and Breeze isn't ready for the angle. Forrester lights out performance in this round, to his name, and now flanking from Stan. He's got to get a 1-on-3 to pick this one up. He does find the AWP. He knows Forrest is close as well, but the cross cross is being covered from Sviat on long, and Stanislaw hasn't even looked aware of where this last player is. He's trying to watch his flank, but that is not where this T is coming from. Sviat just waiting for the tap on the bomb. Stan now having to make a move. He should assume that long is a more likely position, but he's got to go fast, making noise, baits the peak, but Sviat wins the play, and that is a T-side round that DreamEaters have not seen in a while.
Yeah, they're going to be asking themselves, why couldn't they have just gotten that one round sooner? And then maybe this would have been, I mean, not maybe it would have been a different story. It would have been a different story, right? But yeah, they managed to get the first in overtime. And now it's kind of like a harsh awakening for NRG that this isn't a clean-cut victory again. You know, this is still a team that's got some fight in them. They're not just going to roll over and die for you here in overtime. And so the pressure very much back on. Speedak with the AWP out over in middle. Two players do lie in wait, maybe looking to challenge. They have a presence over towards long in the NRG camp. Ethan's got his AWP. Well, Speedak's gone. He's been removed. He's out of the server, out of this round. And Ethan finding that man advantage once again, showing up for NRG early on.
Tarek's pushed on long as well, but Cirque just left this position, so Tarek's hung out to dry. He gets one, that's worth it, but 4 on 3, DreamEaters finding the trade. And moving up towards that A-bomb site, Cirque at the deep end. They might not expect this considering there was no AWP on long supporting Tarek earlier on, so Speedak going for the peak and into his death. Cirque spots another, he finds the leg. Forrester down to 10, the pistol's out, but does Cirque realize that Kinky's up close? Of course he does. Last one, he's got it. Cirque, 3 kills on that AWP and a 16th round taken for NRG. It is split down the middle. Last round of this half now. If DreamEaters find it, we have a real game on our hands, Harry. Having the lead moving into their CT side, the side that initially got them 10 rounds in the first half of this game.
Yeah, and it looks like maybe we're going to see them try and use these AWPs once again to create some space early. Actually throwing, I think that's Ethan up into the boost down towards B. Cirque's holding mid, but that flash that DreamEaters throws in has actually caused some chaos. Cirque and Tarek with 3 kills down in mid, and it's the team flash to slow down those trades that's throwing this entire round away. Forrester left alone in the 1v5. Desperate to try and find some space, but instead he's going to uncover Ethan, and that's the round. NRG 17-16 at the end of the first half at OT.
The worst about that is there was no mistake made from DreamEaters. That flash was just to get them out through, but because Cirque got a kill, they attempt to trade him by getting aggressive. In that process, they move into the sight line of the flash there, and you can see they have to fall back. That gives Cirque more time to react. He gets a second, and Tarek supports him for the third. That is all NRG wanted. And what an unfortunate way to lose a round for DreamEaters. That literally comes down to the flash just losing them the round straight up. And like of course, some great shots hit by NRG.
Like you said, that's just the worst feeling because you did everything by procedure, by protocol, right? You followed the rule book, you followed the procedures for what's meant to happen when these sorts of things happen, and that ends up being your undoing. So a devastating reason to have that round stripped away from DreamEaters there, but it happens nonetheless, and now they've got to try and deal with that heading into the second half.
That being said, I'm sure they're happy that they got one T-side round, right? Like, that was something they struggled on getting for so long in regulation. So they've got one to their name. NRG still leading 17-16. Is first to 19 here to pick up this map, or if it's 18-18, we go to another overtime. That is all for the future, though. Crad gets past that Molotov into the connector safely, so they might not expect him this deep, but Molly up the stairs will section him off. Now they have time to check this corner, but Kinky's pushed up as well. Stan doesn't spot it, he'll check it, but Crad's there. Now that Molotov fades rather, and Kinky can get aggressive to trade. 2-4-0 for DreamEaters, and a 5-on-3 as NRG decide to bail from this current plan. They need to make sure they have that bomb still under control and that Crad's not pushed up on the flank. He is, but he won't overstep. Sat at the bottom of the ladder will allow for a quick rotate towards B, and that will be required because Ethan has taken quite a foothold into this site. He has cleared out everything here. This will allow for the bomb plant, but NRG haven't cleared out short, so even though that's not actually a problem, they need to be aware that it could be. Wanting to get this kill to Forrester first. Ethan gets close and Forrester sleeping at the wheel. Looks away as Ethan finds a double, and we're suddenly back into the action already.
NRG just might salvage around, yeah. Breezy coming in with the bomb plant. Cirque is holding for this rotation, and he spotted Crab. Wasn't able to get the kill, though. And actually, Speedak out from the heavens. No one was keeping an eye on it, and now Ethan alone. He's got to ace it if NRG want to pick this round up. Molotov'd out into the open. They run into his crossfire, and that will be him getting dropped. DreamEaters 17-17, tying things up now. As you say, Hugo, 19 is the magic number we are looking for. 18, and this goes again. We'll head on through to a second overtime.
Awesome utility usage though there from the likes of DreamEaters, right? Like setting up speed with the flashes coming through from Monster, fully blinding NRG on the site. That forced them into pit rather, and just allowed speed to come through the smoke and kill them both.
Even the 1v3, the way that they played that at the end was nice, right? Throwing the Molotov in to Graffiti leaves Ethan in a position where he either plays deep Graffiti and just gets mollied away, or has to go running through it. And obviously that leads to him going down. So they play it safe and they get rewarded for it. Speedak is the man to open this round up with the AWP. So already an advantage taken here for DreamEaters heading into their CT half.
And we're on the half that NRG had so much trouble with in regulation, Harry. There are 2 rounds left to be played, and DreamEaters already have an advantage in one of them. Tarek spray down on long as well. The spray finally converted to a kill. That was huge from Sevilla actually to get it. Cirque does trade, but it's a 4-on-3. Favor still in the hands of DreamEaters up on this A bomb site. Flash misses, hits the pole there. Won't make much of a difference anyway. No one's pushed up on long. NRG going to decide to bail back towards that B site, but look at this flank, Harry. Look at Crad in the spawn. He's going to completely cut this one off. He spotted one. He knows there's a second as well, but can just decide to fall back. 4-on-2. Cirque has to get this kill, or this round is going to be done. He has the bomb. Does he want to take the fight, or does he want to bail through the connector and try and get back towards B? It doesn't matter. He's dead. Trying to wait for the flank to come through, and Ethan will be there, but a few seconds too late. And even though... Oh, he doesn't even get the kill. That's so unfortunate. The spray not converted, and Crad a 3-piece in that round. 18 locked in for DreamEaters, 1 away from the victory that they could have had so long ago.
I'm going to stop saying who it feels like should take this game, because it's just like whichever one I suggest, the opposite happens every single time. Because now, somehow, some way, it's DreamEaters to arrive at that coveted 18-round mark first, and quite the turnaround. Again, I mean, this has been such an odd start to the major, right? We just had over on the mainstream Simon Gaming besting Vitality, one of the lowest ranked teams at the major challenges, beat the top ranked team in our opening game. And here on the V stream, it might be a similar story, it might not. Only time will tell. The last round of this overtime. And the options for NRG at this point is they go again, they get to 18, and then they have to try and win it out in a second overtime, or they fall down into that 0-1.
To join Vitality, which now if you think about it, Harry, that's terrifying. You don't want to be 0-1. You don't want to get Vitality for your 0-2 match. Great nade combo though. Tarek and Ethan finding Crad down Monster. We've been seeing a lot of, well, both these teams frequently throw a Molotov into that position, which doesn't really seem to be anywhere nearly as effective. Double nade, that'll get the job done. Obviously, typically you want to buy mollies rather than nades, unless you have a specific purpose for that nade. Molly has far more uses, pre and post plant. NRG, they just wait though. They've got the pick. They've started to pave the way in this 36th round. They just need to keep up the pace. And back towards B, it seems like they shall. Smoke towards heaven. Three coming in through Monster. Sviat hiding on the site. Forrester down on long. He gets one kick. He follows up. Not like this, NRG. They're going to run into the firing line, and Sviat won't stop kicking them down. It's just Stan left, the in-game leader, 1-on-3 to keep this map alive, and they just won't give him the fight. Finally, Sviat's head gone. Speedak falling back from the heaven as that smoke is still in play, but Stan needs to deal with a man down Monster who's flanking his short. 25 seconds. He will be able to get the stick in if he pleases, but the fake will only give time for Forrester to move up on his flank. Tapping it again, actually going to force the plant as well. 15 seconds, and now hiding in the smoke to find this 1v2. He makes noise into the pit. He gets spotted, flashed up. He knows that they're both far, and Stan found a second. Surely not the round that takes us to double overtime. It's not. DreamEaters will find the victory as Speed comes in from below. 19-17. It looked like they lost it, Harry, but re-salvaged.
Re-salvaged. I don't even know what we just saw, but what a game, Hugo. What a series to start this major, and it sets us up for the rest of the day.